Have you ever walked into a room and felt every eye turn toward you even though you said nothing? Or noticed how people either light up or shrink back the moment you enter their space? What if I told you that's not a coincidence? Some people carry an energy so strong, so undeniable, it can shift the atmosphere without a single word. It's not magic. It's not ego. It's your aura, and it might be a lot more powerful than you think. Your aura is the invisible field of energy that surrounds your body. But it's not just some mystical glow. Science is starting to catch up with what ancient traditions have known for centuries. Your energy speaks louder than your voice ever could. It tells others who you are, how you feel, and what kind of force you bring into their lives. And here's the twist: not everyone is comfortable with that. In fact, when your aura is powerful, it can disturb others. It might make them feel uneasy, intimidated, even exposed. And while that sounds dramatic, it's often because your presence triggers something inside them they're not ready to face. You shine a light they weren't expecting, and it shows what they're hiding, not from you, but from themselves. Throughout history, people with powerful auras have stood out, even when they tried to blend in. Think about it. Some of the world's most magnetic figures, visionaries, leaders, healers, they never needed to shout. Their energy did the talking, and sometimes it disturbed the world just enough to create change. So, how do you know if you have that kind of aura? In this video, we're diving deep into 13 unmistakable signs that your aura is so powerful it can shift the energy of any space and even make others uncomfortable without you realizing it. Some signs will surprise you, others will feel eerily familiar, but by the end, you'll understand the hidden force you carry and how to use it without dimming your light. Stay with me, because this isn't just about understanding your aura, it's about protecting it, embracing it, and learning why your presence is both your power and your responsibility. By the time we reach the end, you'll know why some people drift away from you for no reason, why strangers confide in you within minutes, and why you often feel everything, even when no one says a word. And most importantly, you'll learn how to stop apologizing for your energy and start owning it. Welcome to Motive Alchemy, where transformation begins with awareness. If you're ready to explore the real reason people react the way they do around you, then hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. Let's begin. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the air change, like something invisible shifted the moment you arrived? You weren't loud. You weren't trying to grab attention. But still, people turned, paused, reacted. That's not in your head. That's the quiet force of your aura. Some people feel it like a wave, and for reasons they don't fully understand, it makes them uncomfortable. You might notice people acting differently around you. They fidget more. They avoid eye contact. Some laugh too hard, others retreat. You haven't said a word, but your presence alone seems to demand something: honesty, awareness, alignment. Not because you're trying to, but because your energy refuses to be small. And for people who aren't used to being seen, really seen, that can feel threatening. It's not about intimidation. It's about truth. Your aura challenges what others try to hide, especially from themselves. If they're insecure, they'll feel exposed. If they're dishonest, they'll feel called out. Without confrontation, without words, just energy. It's almost like your soul holds up a mirror and not everyone is ready to look. But here's where it gets more complicated. That same energy that makes some people uncomfortable draws others in like a magnet. There are those who admire you instantly. They're curious, inspired, even a little in awe. They feel safe around you, like they can drop the mask, breathe, and just be real. That's the duality of a powerful aura. It can disturb and heal. It can repel and attract. And often, it does both at the same time. Some people will love you without fully understanding why. Others will dislike you for the exact same reason. They feel your energy pressing on parts of themselves they've kept buried. And that kind of impact, even when it's gentle, can feel like pressure. You reflect back the truth they've been avoiding. And whether they recognize it or not, their reaction says more about them than it ever will about you. So when people act strange around you, when they pull away or get defensive, remember this, it's not always personal. Sometimes your light simply shines too brightly for the shadows they haven't faced. And that's not your burden to carry. It's just the price of being radiant. There's something strange, almost surreal, about how people respond to you when they meet you for the first time. Within minutes, they start talking, really talking, not about the weather or what they do for a living, but about their fears, their heartbreak, their childhood, the things they rarely say out loud. You didn't ask. You weren't prying. You were just present. And somehow that was enough. It's not just that you listen. It's the space you create without even trying. Your energy feels like a pause in the chaos, like a quiet, invisible place where people can lay things down without being judged. There's something unspoken in your aura that says, it's safe here. You don't have to pretend. And for people carrying silent burdens, that feeling is rare. So when they feel it, they don't let it pass. They open up. They tell you things they haven't told their closest friends. And you find yourself being the keeper of stories that aren't yours because something about you gives others permission to be real. But it's not just one-sided. You feel things too, sometimes more than you want to. You can walk into a room and feel the tension before anyone speaks. You sense joy, anger, pain, like emotions are woven into the walls. And when someone smiles, but their eyes don't match, you always know. It's like your heart is tuned into a frequency others don't hear, and every emotion, spoken or not, lands on you. This kind of empathy isn't soft. It's not passive. It's a deep, active awareness of the undercurrents in people's lives. And while it allows you to connect with others in ways they rarely experience, it can also feel like too much. Because not everything you pick up belongs to you. Not every feeling you carry is yours. And if you're not careful, you can lose yourself in the emotional noise of others absorbing pain that was never meant for you. And then there's the hardest part. Despite how deeply you care, how genuine your intentions are, people don't always see you clearly. In fact, the more powerful your energy is, the more likely it is to be misunderstood. You walk into a space with the intention to help, to connect, to contribute something meaningful. But your presence alone, your intensity, your clarity, your honesty can feel like too much for people who aren't ready for it. They misread your silence as disapproval, your passion as aggression, your confidence as arrogance. And suddenly you're being treated like someone you're not. It's not fair, but it's real. Your aura doesn't just invite truth, it demands it. And for people who are still hiding behind their own masks, that can feel like a threat. You might leave a conversation wondering what went wrong, playing it back in your mind, questioning if you said something the wrong way. But deep down, you know the truth. It wasn't what you said, it was how you made them feel. Your energy pulled something forward in them that they weren't ready to face. And in that discomfort, they saw you as the problem, not the mirror. So, yes, strangers tell you their secrets. You feel the weight of emotions that were never spoken. And sometimes you get labeled in ways that hurt too intense, too serious, too much. But none of that means you're broken. It means you're tuned in. It means you're awake. It means your aura speaks even when you don't. And that's not something everyone is prepared to receive. There's something that happens to you after being around people for too long. It's not just tiredness, it's deeper than that. It's like your mind and body both need silence urgently. After social events, even ones you enjoy, you often find yourself needing to retreat. You feel heavy, almost foggy, as if you've taken on more than just conversation. That's because you have. Your aura doesn't just connect, it absorbs. You pick up on the emotions, tensions, and energies in the room, and without meaning to, you carry them with you. It's not that you don't love people. You do. But people are loud, even in their silence. And your energy feels all of it. Large crowds can be especially overwhelming. You might feel fine at first, laughing, talking, being present. But after a while, your energy starts to drop. You feel scattered, anxious, or suddenly quiet. That's your body telling you it's time to pull back. It's not weakness, it's self-preservation. When your aura is strong, it becomes like a sponge. And without space to breathe, it gets soaked too fast. That's why solitude isn't just a preference for you, it's a necessity. Quiet time isn't about avoiding people. It's about returning to yourself. It's about clearing out what doesn't belong and finding your own frequency again. And yet, there's this beautiful, almost magical contrast. While the energy of adults can drain you, animals and children seem to restore you. It's like they see you without trying to. Pets walk right up to you. Children sit next to you like they've known you forever. You don't need to perform, entertain, or explain. They feel your truth. They recognize your spirit because, unlike adults, they haven't learned to ignore their instincts. They haven't been taught to doubt what they feel. And what they feel from you is safety. Animals don't overthink. They don't judge. They respond to energy, and yours tells them they're safe, that they're understood, that they're seen. The same goes for children. Their world is made of feeling, not filters. They aren't drawn to status or image, they're drawn to truth. And your aura speaks that language fluently. But what you don't always expect is how much your energy stirs in others, even when you're silent. Just by being yourself, you make people question things, deep things. You don't even have to speak. Your way of being, your clarity, your stillness, your confidence, it all sends a message. And for people who've built their lives on unexamined beliefs or roles they no longer fit, that can be deeply uncomfortable. You walk into a space and suddenly they're questioning things they haven't thought about in years. They might feel inspired by you, or challenged, or confused. Sometimes they want to be around you more. Sometimes they want to argue with you without even knowing why. It's not about what you say, it's about what you are. Your aura holds a mirror, and not everyone is ready to see what it reflects. You don't have to speak up to spark a reaction. You don't have to push your views to make people rethink theirs. Just your presence, your calm, your groundedness, it activates something in others, something they might not be ready to deal with. And when that happens, you'll notice the shift. Some lean in, some pull away. Both are responses to your power. Not because you're trying to influence anyone, but because your existence reminds them they have a choice to keep pretending or start waking up. There's a quiet ache that follows you, even in rooms full of people. You laugh, you join in, you try to blend, but there's always this underlying feeling that you're not quite like the others. You're there, but not fully part of it. You care, but from a distance. It's not that people exclude you, it's just that you see things differently. You feel things more deeply. And in a world that often celebrates surface over substance, that difference can feel like a gap you can't quite close. You've probably asked yourself, why do I always feel like I'm on the outside looking in? And the answer, in part, is your energy. Your aura carries something rare in honesty, a depth, a frequency that doesn't quite match the noise of the crowd. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're awake in a world that often numbs itself. And when you're awake, you notice everything. The glances, the tone shifts, the unspoken tension. You can't not see it. That awareness creates space between you and others. Not because you want it, but because it's just how you're wired. This constant awareness, this openness comes with a cost. Your emotions don't just belong to you. They shift quickly, sometimes without warning. You're happy one moment, then anxious the next. A calm conversation can leave you suddenly heavy, and you don't always know why. That's because you absorb what others carry. Their anger, their fear, their grief, it doesn't stay with them. It finds you. And if you're not careful, it settles into your own emotional landscape like it belongs there. You've had days where you wake up feeling fine, but after being around certain people, your whole mood shifts. You wonder if you're too sensitive, too reactive. But what's really happening is energetic exchange. You're not just emotionally responsive, you're energetically porous. The danger isn't in feeling deeply, it's in losing track of what's yours and what isn't. That's why self awareness isn't optional for you, it's survival. You need to name what you feel, where it came from, and whether or not it belongs in your spirit. Because not every storm that touches you is yours to carry. And then there's the surprising part, the moments when people, sometimes total strangers, come to you and just open up. They ask for your thoughts, your opinion, your guidance, as if they've known you for years. It happens in coffee shops, elevators, grocery store lines. Someone turns to you and starts talking about something real, something deep, something they haven't said out loud before. And you listen because that's who you are. You hold space. You reflect what they can't quite see for themselves. It's not because you have all the answers. It's because your energy feels like wisdom, like steadiness, like truth. People sense it. They trust it. And even when they don't know why, they come to you because your presence feels like clarity in the middle of confusion. You help them put pieces together, sometimes with just a few words, sometimes with silence. This isn't about being everyone's counselor. It's about what your aura communicates, a silent message that says, you are seen. You are safe. You can be real here. That kind of energy is rare. And in a world full of noise, people are starved for it. So they find you again and again, not because you ask them to, but because they can't help it. You shine like a lighthouse in the fog, and even those who don't know they're lost feel pulled in your direction. Sometimes when you close your eyes at night, your mind doesn't just rest, it travels. Your dreams aren't ordinary. They're vivid, layered, and often strange in ways that feel meaningful. You wake up with fragments that won't let go, colors, symbols, conversations that never happened, but somehow feel familiar. These aren't just random firings of the brain. They feel like messages, glimpses of something deeper. You've probably had moments when something you dreamt came true or revealed a truth you couldn't yet see in waking life. It's not coincidence, it's connection. Your aura doesn't stop working when you sleep. If anything, It gets louder, more free. Without the noise of the day, your energy opens up. And in that openness, insight flows. You may not always understand it right away, but it stays with you, nudging your awareness, pushing your curiosity. These dreams, these strange bursts of knowing, are more than imagination. They are echoes of your intuition speaking in its most creative form. And that intuition, it's not just present when you dream. It walks with you every day. You feel things before they happen. You sense people's motives before they speak. Sometimes your body reacts before your mind catches up, a tightness in the chest, a calm in the belly, a sudden chill that has nothing to do with the weather. Your gut leads you, and when you ignore it, you usually regret it. Not because you're paranoid, but because your energy is finely tuned to the unseen. You notice the subtle shifts, the invisible cues, the things most people dismiss as nothing. This kind of intuitive clarity is both a gift and a responsibility, because it means you can't always live on the surface. You can't just go with the flow when everything in you is saying something's off. And while others might second guess themselves, you carry a deeper certainty. Even if you can't explain it, you know that knowing is the language of your aura. It's how it keeps you aligned, protected, and awake. But perhaps the most extraordinary sign of your powerful aura is what happens to the people around you. You don't set out to change them. You don't preach or persuade. You just live in your truth. And yet, something about your presence sparks transformation. People start to shift. They rethink old patterns. They make different choices. They begin to question the stories they've been telling themselves. And somehow, without trying, you become a catalyst for their growth. It might show up subtly. Someone begins taking better care of themselves after spending time with you. Another person starts speaking up for their needs simply because they saw how unapologetically you honor yours. You don't need to teach because your life teaches. Your aura is a living invitation, one that says, it's okay to change. It's okay to grow. It's okay to be more than what you've settled for. And even when you're not around, your impact lingers. Someone hears your words days later, makes a decision they were afraid to face. Someone remembers how they felt in your presence and realizes they want to feel that way more often. You don't have to push. You simply are. And in being fully yourself, you show others what's possible. That's the quiet power of a strong aura. It doesn't dominate. It doesn't demand. It transforms gently, honestly, and with a kind of grace that moves beneath the surface. You may never know all the lives you've touched, but trust this. Your energy has been the beginning of many people's healing. Not because you forced it, but because you carried the light they didn't know they were searching for. If you've seen yourself in these 13 signs, know this: your aura isn't just powerful, it's transformational. You make people feel things, reflect on things, and sometimes even change just by being you. Let's quickly recap what that looks like. 1. People feel uncomfortable around you without knowing why. 2. You attract both deep admiration and unexpected resistance. 3. Strangers open up to you easily. 4. You instinctively sense emotions in others. 5. You're often misunderstood even when your intentions are good. 6. Social interactions leave you feeling drained. 7. Animals and children are naturally drawn to you. 8. Your presence alone challenges others to rethink their beliefs. 9. You often feel like an outsider even in familiar places. 10. You experience sudden mood swings influenced by your environment. 11. People come to you for advice even when you don't offer it. 12. Your dreams and intuitions are vivid, insightful, and strangely accurate. 13. You inspire others to grow without even trying. That kind of presence isn't something everyone carries. It's a gift, yes, but also a responsibility, because the world doesn't always know what to do with that kind of light. It may resist it, it may misunderstand it, but that doesn't mean you should dim it. Your energy matters. Protect it, honor it, and wherever possible, use it to lift others up, not by fixing them, but by being fully and unapologetically yourself. That's how transformation begins. Now we'd love to hear from you. Do you recognize these signs in yourself? Have you ever felt your energy shift a room or disturb it? Share your story in the comments. We read them, and you never know who might need to hear what you have to say. If this video spoke to you, give it a like. It helps us reach more souls just like yours. And don't forget to subscribe to Motive Alchemy for more insights, truths, and soul-level conversations. Your aura is rare. Don't shrink it. Let it shine.